Thanks until I'm completely reconstructed. No resting on laurels, chiffoniers, chaise lounges, mean folding chairs, stools.
He can be so demanding for somebody with no limbs. Well, that's one other thing too that I would agree. You'll notice that the bottle was there even though I had already picked it up. That's also true for memories and stuff too. I mean, everything like reappears, respawns, even if you've already picked it up. You don't get credit for it again, of course, but it's like, why do they have it respawn then? It's kind of pointless. And you'll notice here, even the pig snout respawns. Pig spout, okay. Pig snout. And so we shoot it, and even the memory respawns. Why? I don't know. I always go and get him anyway.
It's been years now, Alice. Time to put away childish things.
I mean, one point about it, I guess, would be that, you know, in some areas you can't go back like this, so maybe it's something they just overlooked. Okay, off to see the March Hare. It doesn't like it when she's standing right next to him. So the pepper grinder isn't the most accurate thing in the world. It's still more accurate than the teapot cannon, since that's your area of effect weapon. Oh, and this particular area is one of my least favorite in the game, frankly, because of the way they did the checkpoint, or didn't do the checkpoint, as the case may be.
The dimensions of this desolate tract are unknown to all but the inhabitants.
Yeah, you don't say. So, and by the way, not this immediate area, but later on, when we're actually almost to the hare. Oh, there we go. A worker's paradise, not a cheap slogan, we really care. Yeah, okay. Work until you expire.
An industry thrives on suffering, obsolescence, and ruination. It's made the East End into a privy. Consider a simple farm life in Australia, perhaps. We might liquidate what remains of your inheritance.
So another point to keep in mind in all of this, if you haven't already picked up on it, is, and I think I might have said this before, I forget all the different points I bring up, but, you know, all the adults in Alice's life, once her family died, are using her for their own ends. The lawyer is after her inheritance. The Nurse Witless is extorting money out of her for booze, gin particularly, and there's some other things going on too, which sort of become apparent later. Now this part here is actually probably a good example. You'll see the camera go through and show you what happens when you stand on the switch. It's better to wait like this so that you don't have to wait for the camera to come back. Just a little tip there for those of you who might be curious. Oh crap, I went the wrong way. Wow, I actually got away with that. Amazing. When you're going around the wheel there, or the gear, the cog, it's better to go the other way. I was actually running against the motion of the cog and I still made it. So that's like something of a minor miracle there. Because you just barely have enough time to get through there. So I don't advise doing that. I advise going with the motion of the gear instead of against it. But, I guess I wanted a challenge. Or I'm just not paying close enough attention. That could be too. So what I started to say a little bit ago was that, economically, there was a huge bubble in investment in railroads, and railroads being invested in that really led to nowhere. There was no reason to build them in those areas. Nobody wanted them, and then and also there was a lot of corruption. There was a lot less controls over, shall we say, nefarious business practices in Victorian England, which obviously I've already kind of talked a little bit about with the labor laws. Or people have to keep in mind that any law, even today, the same thing happens today. Oh, there's a law against that. Like, take the speed limit. Well, it's a law, you're only supposed to go 55 here, so why is everybody going 80? It's like, well, yeah, there might be a law, but if it's not enforced, it might as well not even exist. And that's often what happens. And certainly if there's a potential profit, reward, whatever, for it. I mean, why do we have toxic waste dumping into the ocean in all sorts of different areas, or into waterways or other places that is obviously illegal to dump toxic waste? It's like, well, because they can get away with it, or because let's say the fine for dumping toxic waste into the ocean is, I don't know, $10,000 if you're caught. Well, if you're making $1 million by doing it, if you save enough money on doing it the legal way, that you wind up with a profit of $1 million, then $10,000, no problem. Cost of doing business, big deal. Of course, the fact that all that toxic waste could come back and poison your own water supply, you'd think might give people pause, but usually not. It's better to give labor than receive payment. So these guys really aren't a problem as long as you only fight them along. So the fact that a railway plays a rather important role in this story is completely in keeping with the time period. Now, I want to say one other thing, though, that, again, I haven't seen anybody else say in reviews or comments or anything like that. And this is, you can look this up yourself, but yeah, trains are actually something that is... Well, let me get rid of dummy here. Alright. There's our door. Okay, fine. As I was saying, trains are actually a very common phallic symbol, especially trains going through a tunnel, because the tunnel is obviously also, you know, symbolic of the female reproductive organs. So I haven't really seen anybody mention that. That's a nice little battle coming up, so. This is the easy way to do this battle, by the way. As opposed to the more difficult way of doing it, which I don't really advise. Which is to try to melee in the middle of, you know, all sorts of things pounding down on you from the ceiling. Probably